So there's officially one more day left until the symbiotic relationships panel for Spider-Man 2. I've had this video idea for a while and never got around to it till now. What better time to talk about this specific topic right before it's likely going to be expanded on the day after. With that, today we're going to be theorizing and trying to pick and pull apart the gameplay we got to speculate and try and figure out what exactly is going on with the symbiote in Marvel Spider-Man 2. As far as is it an alien or man-made? How long has Peter had it in the context of the gameplay reveal we got? The different possibilities of all the above, and what's likely and unlikely with just kind of everything we have in front of us and my personal take on it. So first, let's go over whether or not it's alien or man-made. This is a mixed bag because they could have gone either way really, and there's a hint towards one side, but the other side could also make a lot of sense too. People think they are pulling a lot of inspiration from the Ultimate Universe of comics, where if you didn't know, the symbiote is actually made scientifically, which I guess that's definitely a possibility, but there wasn't necessarily anything to point towards it being man-made that I know of at least. And allow me to play devil's advocate. Let's say Norman did create the symbiote and this turned around and blew up in his face and he created Venom. Is it just me, or would this be similar to the first plot in the first game where Norman creates something to cure Harry and it blows up in his face as karma, and it ends up fucking with the whole city? The way I look at this is, why would they want to retread the same ground? So again, that's the way I look at it. Of course, you can have your own opinion. With that though, I personally think it's likely the symbiote will actually be from outer space and it will be a proper alien. This is because of something we have gone over before, but it would make sense, I think, at least. In the final mission, or maybe the second to last mission of Miles Morales at the Oscorp Science Center, we see a spaceship, and this science center focused on space exploration. So it seems likely that an astronaut went to space and possibly returned with the symbiote. But who would that astronaut be? Maybe J. Jonah Jameson's son, John Jameson, but we don't know. That's just pure guess on my part. With that, like I said, maybe someone was sent into space for Oscorp or whoever to explore, and they brought back the symbiote. Norman heard about it, got his hands on it somehow or whatever, or maybe it wasn't even Oscorp that did it, who knows, but assumingly Oscorp, because the whole space exploration science center. But eventually Norman got his hands on it somehow and is attempting to use it to keep Harry alive. And I also want to add that I personally think the symbiote being alien could properly expand the universe's lore a lot better, mainly because this universe is really grounded right now and it could be a little more fantastical. I feel I really don't want it to take itself too serious, and this is a way of remedying that, I think. With that, do you think it's man-made or alien, or which one do you hope it is? Comment down below. Let's move on now. As far as the gameplay reveal goes, how long has Peter had the symbiote for, or what part of the story does the gameplay reveal take place in? Now, I'm basing this off plot leak and speculation, but in my eyes this actually kind of does make a lot of sense when you kind of try to put the pieces together. And of course, it's a leak, so could be real, could be fake, who knows. So I'm gonna try and go over this quickly, but I made a video comparing every plot leak to the gameplay reveal to try and see if anything lines up at all. Good video, by the way, you should check that out after this, shameless plug. But in the video we go over a very specific plot leak that at first kind of seems questionable, but the more we read it, the more everything kind of adds up. That is until after the middle of the game. After that, everything is kind of questionable. But if you don't want to potentially have the story of Marvel Spider-Man 2 spoiled, go away or skip to whatever timestamp I put on the screen right here. The beginning of the game is apparently wraith-killing criminals, and the Spider-Men have to track them down. Miles is told to leave the whole thing alone, and this is important for later. I'll remind you guys about this in a bit. So Miles, leaves Pete to take care of Wraith, because Wraith is Yuri's Spider-Man old cop buddy, and Wraith is confirmed to be in Marvel Spider-Man 2. Alright, you following? So now apparently Pete gets the symbiote and defeats Wraith, okay, right? I don't think it specified what Miles would be doing on his own, but yeah, Miles is off doing his own thing. Then Norman gets wind of Spider-Man having the symbiote, and obviously he wants it back. He's trying to save Harry. With that's where Kraven comes in the picture, you feel me? And Kraven has a contract with Norman, hence why I think Kraven has all that technology shit, because typically he doesn't have all that. I'm sure he has that because, you know, of the possible contract or deal he has with Norman Osborn to try and get the symbiote back. Meanwhile, Lizard goes on the loose somehow, some way, and this is where Miles and Pete get back in contact again. But remember, they hadn't seen each other in a bit because Pete said to let Pete handle the Wraith. So maybe Miles was looking into the Lizard thing, then Pete jumped onto it after he defeated the Wraith. I don't know, who knows. That specific part right there is just, you know, me speculating. But back to the Kraven shit, this contract has too many restrictions, limitations. So Kraven ditches the contract. Now this isn't mentioned in the plot leak, this is me theorizing the following. But okay, so let's ask, why is Kraven hunting Lizard? Insomniac usually wants to try and, you know, create some type of storyline plot with tension and personal connection. My idea is maybe Kraven is going after Connors for two reasons. Well, three. Obviously one, because, you know, he's an animal of some sort, and, you know, Kraven hunts animals typically, but, you know, this is like a human animal hybrid. But two, because Norman needs Connors, and the plot leak does say Kraven goes rogue. How would Kraven go rogue on Norman? One, you know, by, you know, ditching the contract, but two, by trying to hunt down the Lizard because Norman needs him. So I think it could possibly be that. But as well, for the third reason, Spider-Man cares about Lizard too, so maybe he wants to use Lizard to get at Spider-Man as well. Two stones, one bird. Wait, my fucking high ass. I meant two birds, one stone? Yeah, I think so. Anyway, when Pete arrives at the scene of Miles and Genki tracking Lizard, Miles says,
"Hey man, new threats?"
And Peter does not respond. Again, assumingly they haven't seen each other, right? Since around when Wraith came into the picture, and who knows, you know, how long that has been. But it may make a lot of sense as far as to explain why Peter is so aggressive with the symbiote in this point of the gameplay story reveal. That's like the only explanation, unless, you know, like he somehow just had gotten the symbiote and they are writing the symbiote a little differently. But I think this gameplay reveal is somewhere in the middle of the game, or maybe like at the end of Act 1, beginning of Act 2, if that makes sense. So to kind of just sum it up, I think likely the symbiote will be alien, and I also hope it is, because it will better flush the universe out a little as far as like the lore and stuff, and, you know, make it a little less grounded, which can, in my opinion, be a really good thing. And I think the gameplay reveal takes place, again, somewhere around the middle of the story, or beginning of the middle of the story, somewhere in that area, you know, like just based off what we have in the gameplay, but as well, you know, my speculation and theories regarding the alleged plot leaks that seem to, you know, kind of match up with what we have so far. But, you know, again, we never really know. That plot leak could definitely be fake. But, you know, again, some of it adds up, so we'll see. With that, what are you thinking? Do you agree with my take and perspective and think, I mean, yeah, this sort of kind of does make sense and is possible, we just kind of, you know, won't know until the game comes out? Or are you thinking, nah, you're crazy, just stick to reporting the news, your theories suck and make zero sense? Make sure to comment your opinion down below so I can discuss all of that with you in the comment section. Thank you for taking time out of your day to click on this video. If you're new to the channel, I cover Spider-Man related scoops, rumors, leaks, confirmations for the games, movies, TV shows, and I try to upload as much as I can. You know, sometimes we do theory videos like this. So if any of that interests you, hit the subscribe button. We're on the road to 4,000 subscribers. If you want more of this type of content, leave a like on the video. Don't forget to check out my latest video on the left if you haven't already. I hope you ever had a good day and that you enjoyed the video. Until next time.